Come along as I turn this $50 marketplace find into $2,450. This is an interesting set. It really has some unique things about it. These brass plates, these huge drawer pulls or door pulls. And, I would call this kind of a Spanish revival, but we're going to change that up. And I'm trying to figure out hardware, what base, legs, design elements. I got that all together and I've decided to go with legs. So I had to put some supports in. I'm doing the nightstands first. I've got a little bit of wood in the way, so I trimmed some pieces. I had to take a notch out so it would fit flush. We're good to go there. And now I've got to countersink some screws because this base needed some more support, so I decided to just screw it together since I'm painting these. I can put some wood filler in. These aren't going anywhere. Now to work on the supports for the legs. I had the 2x4s in there and I drilled a hole for the T-nuts, but I don't like how they sit up there because that's going to leave a gap. So I'm going to take this bit and it's a Forstner bit, and I'm going to go ahead and just drill out kind of a notch for that T-nut. I'm going to recess it down into that base. Yes. So now when I put the feet on, they're going to fit completely flush. So I'm going to go around and do the rest of them. I've also got the dresser upside down, so I'm doing those as well. And once I get those in there, they're nice and recessed. I've got a leg on there to test it, and look at that, no gap. Perfect. Okay, these fronts where the big brass things were, they're plastic. This set has a lot of plastic molding and laminate. So I had to cut some wood panels to go over that because there's just no way to patch it with that heavy wood grain. So I put these little wood panels on there, brad nails, wood glue, and lots of sanding now. There was a lot of drawers that needed that. So I got my sponge out on my pad, or the pad on the sander, and got all the drawers done, and then time to sand the cabinet. Now this is laminate, so it requires a little bit of extra attention, just extra sanding and a good adhesion primer. It's time to get everything cleaned. And then I've got some drawers to address. These are just the guides that the drawers slide on. A few of them were broken, like 8 of them were broken. I had to just replace those. They have an important function, so I don't want to leave those. And now my drawers slide nice and straight. I'm masking off the inside since I'm not painting that. I'm also making sure to cover my hinges so they don't get any paint on them. I've got them all prepped and ready to go. Time to set up the spray tent. I'm using a large Easy Up because this is a huge set. So this is my transformation station that I make out of an Easy Up. Time to mix up some primer. I'm just using a little water to thin it out for my sprayer. And time to transform these beauties. This would be a tough job without a sprayer. Lots and lots of details. Can be done, but it would just be a long process. But with spraying, I mean, you just can't beat it. So lots and lots of time would be spent with a brush, but quick work with a sprayer. This has to sit for a while, and then after it dries completely, go in and scuff sand everything again to smooth it. Here goes my paint. This is Midnight Navy by Farmhouse. Beautiful blue color. I really wanted to just amp these up a little bit. They were so unique. In between coats, I pull all the drawers out and paint the edges since the sprayer doesn't get those. Letting everything dry again. And I sprayed a second coat. I'm dumping out all of my paint, putting top coat in my sprayer and tinting the top coat. Time for another quick dusting. And this is my top coat layer. Beautiful. Everything got a good chance to dry, and then I took all the masking off and painting the edges there so that those are nice and straight. Let's install some hardware. Hardware was a tough choice on this, but I think I nailed it. And then some pretty drawer liners just for that added touch. I cut everything to size and then I dry fit it, take the backing off and go ahead and fit it in the drawer there. And installing the legs, putting my little felt feet on the legs. The dresser needed some support because once I raise this up, I don't want it to sag. So I installed a 2x4 and then another leg in the back with an adjustable foot. Of course, putting my logo inside, taking a look back at where we started, and here they are now. Spanish Revival into something beautiful and modern and elegant. These are still absolutely statement pieces, but now just much more modern. And still with some vintage charm. I mean, the insides are original, so I hope you like this makeover. I did list these for $24.50 on Marketplace. Be sure to follow for more.